I'm a Scorpio sun, and I was kind of called to just talk about what it's like to be born under the sign of Scorpio. I know it's a zodiac sign that is often misread, misunderstood. If you're somebody who's got Scorpio placements in your chart, or you've got a Scorpio sun, rising Venus, wherever it's very strong in your chart, or you've got Scorpio friends, a Scorpio partner, a boss, somebody in your family, I'm sure you'll resonate with, or at least I hope you'll resonate with some of the content here. But do let me know in the comment section what you think. So yeah, this will be pretty free flowing. So get your tea, coffee, beverage of choice. So I want to talk about the sun sign of Scorpio, okay, which is basically for people born between October 23rd to November 21st, okay? Those are the dates for being basically classified as a Scorpio sun. And of course, if you know your astral or birth chart, you can find out whether you have heavy Scorpio placements in other areas of your chart, because I think that's very interesting and cool to know about yourself as well. So I think most Scorpions watching will resonate with this, with what I'm going to say next, which is about why the sign is so misunderstood and misread. So a couple of things. I think there are a few misconceptions that I'd like to clarify right off the bat, and then I'll go into what it's like to have a Scorpion friend, what it's like to have a Scorpion partner, a boss, somebody who's in your family, and what are we like at work, what are we like in a relationship. I'm going to cover all of that, so stick with me. So I think for a Scorpio, there are three big misconceptions that come to mind. If you've heard of more, please leave me a comment in the comment section. I'll be happy to do another follow-on video to this one. So the first one is that we're pretty cold or detached, or not a lot affects a Scorpio. I think that is so off from the truth, because if you talk to Scorpions, all we do is feel. So we're a water sign, and we're a fixed water sign. So there are four, like fixed signs in the zodiac. We've got Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, and Aquarius. So what that means is, and each fixed sign represents the core element. So if Scorpio is water and it's fixed water, we exemplify all the traits of a water sign to the T. Similarly, if Aquarius is the fixed sign for air element, they represent air elements to the T. And similarly for Leo and Taurus for fire and earth. So I think our life is all about feeling. Our life is all about contemplating emotion, working a lot with emotion. We overthink, over-obsess. I'm going to get into all of that. I've actually pulled a few tarot cards as well that signify some of these emotions, at least to me, when I think about what it's like to be a Scorpio. So I don't think that we are cold, detached, or conniving. It's just that we are selective. Scorpions invest in an enormous way in relationships. Like, it is so unconditional for the right people. And obviously, for every Scorpion, they know rather quickly who is their tribe, who are they instinctively drawn to. There's often the saying about Scorpions, you can take us to a party with like 10,000 or 50,000 people, and we will know instantly in like 2 or 3 seconds who are the 5 people we want to talk to. All Scorpions are born with this razor sharp intuition, and we don't recognize it for many, many years in our life. And most Scorpions start to tap into this intuitive power only like past their mid-30s, 40s, because up until then, we're just trying to navigate life, which is actually pretty hard for most of us. And I'll get into that. Like, when your soul chooses to be born as a Scorpio, you've actually chosen a pretty difficult life for yourself. And so trust me, we know emotion really well. It's just that we give a lot for the right people, and we're very clear about who our inner circle is, who our outer circle is. Scorpions are very social, so they'll have large social circles, but they'll always know, at least like a pure Scorpio with very strong placements in their chart, will have a very small circle, literally a handful of people that they trust, maybe sometimes even one if they're lucky, or 2 people who actually know all of them, like all bits of a Scorpio. Because most Scorpions don't even want to acknowledge 100% of their own selves, because we have such dark places and we have such a transformation going on always in our life that it's very hard to soak up all of ourselves as well. So it's very hard to then go and narrate that to someone else. So let me come back to the first misconception. So it's not that we're cold, cunning, conniving, all of that. I can definitely understand how we come across or why people will think that. I think it's just because we're just very clear who we want to bond with, who we want to talk to, who we want to further our relationships with, and who is basically not somebody that we're going to invest too much in. So maybe, yeah, in a group setting, we might not be as friendly with everybody in the group because we've already identified internally rather quickly. And maybe that is not such a nice trait about being a Scorpion, because it is a little bit exclusive, but that's just how we operate. I think the second big one on Scorpions is that we will never ever forget, and we will always want to take revenge if you've wronged us. Maybe for younger Scorpions, I think if you're a young Scorpion watching and you're in your 20s, yeah, it does take us a little bit of time to shake off some of these feelings of if someone has betrayed us. We will forgive, but we will not forget. I think that is true. So it's not completely a misconception, it's partially true. See, the thing with Scorpions is that we're a fixed water sign, like I was saying earlier. So we feel everything like 10x more than most people, right? So we feel love that way, we feel anger in that way. Basically, all big emotions are hyper for us, like hyper amplified for us. So if we've given, and firstly, we trust very few people. So that's why we are a very small inner circle. And when we've let somebody into our inner circle and someone then betrays us or crosses us, yes, that does kind of upset us, and that takes us a lot of time to kind of get over. So it is a big betrayal for us. So we will forgive, but we won't forget. We will forgive if you have taken the time to explain to us your thinking as to why there was a misconception in the relationship, or why there was a misunderstanding in whatever kind of relationship, could be friends, colleagues, partners. We love truth. We love honesty. We love it to a fault, almost, to a point where we will almost, it's like that, right? A Scorpion will sting itself before somebody else can hurt us. So sometimes we also take it to the next level, where we will keep pestering for the truth till the time we know what the truth is, and then even if it hurts us, it shatters our life, we still want the truth. The card that comes to mind when I think about Scorpion's obsession for the truth is the Ace of Swords. We will not stop till we fully understood the lay of the land. If we're having a conversation with someone, and let's say we've had an argument with a partner or a close friend, we will want to go to the depth of it all and really understand why something went down. And it can be quite annoying, but Scorpions won't give up. So if you've got an argument coming up with a Scorpio, well, you better be ready with your facts, because they're not going to give up. So that's the other thing. I think if you've taken the time to explain to us your actions and why this relationship couldn't work out, this friendship couldn't work out, this, partnership at work, we love deep conversations. We love truth. We are hungry for the deepest truth. So we won't just settle for the first half-assed kind of truth that we'll get, because again, of the intuitive power, let's say, that most Scorpions are born with, you will know that somebody's bullshitting you. You'll know that that's not the real truth. So we'll keep pestering. We'll be like, but what about this? But why? But why? But why? We will not settle till we've gotten the actual final truth. And that leads me to this other misconception, that we're pretty straight up. We can be quite harsh in our language and the way we come across. I think this again, is a partial truth. We are very obsessed with the truth. So yes, we expect that everybody else around us is also equally obsessed with the truth, but obviously that's not true. Some people like to kind of, do it in a more diplomatic way. One thing I can tell you, for a Scorpion, truth is like gold. You can always serve it to us, even in a very harsh, just straight up kind of way. In fact, we like it. We love people who are very straight up, who can say it like it is. We respect that. We find that very inspiring in other people. So keep that truth coming, and you will be friends with a Scorpio or be committed to a Scorpio for life. That's the other thing I want to come to, how we are in relationships. Yeah, actually, let's go there first. I was going to talk more about what we're like at work, but let's talk about relationships. But before we get there, I've also pulled a few tarot cards for us. So this is that intuitive sense, the High Priestess. Every time I see this card, I think of like the zodiac sign of Scorpio, because this is that spidey, intuitive sense that each Scorpion is born with. And the sooner we can start to tap into this power, the sooner we can actually work with it to our advantage, I think the happier lives we tend to live. So the High Priestess, which is all about slightly mysterious, there's this allure. Most Scorpions, because they are so guarded, right, to the ultimate truth of their own existence, sometimes even to their own selves, till they really do the inner work and they come to realize who they truly are, that there's a general sense of mystery and allure to Scorpions. And we know that. I think we're conscious of it as well. We sometimes use it to our advantage. Definitely in romantic relationships. We're coming to that. We'll talk about it. I think Scorpio women definitely know that they have that mysterious, enigmatic kind of vibe. And we do use it to our advantage sometimes. Like men love that about us, or at least the men who are attracted to Scorpion women, because we're not everybody's cup of tea. We don't want to be everybody's cup of tea. So the High Priestess is the card that is very, very Scorpionic. It's very being in your intuitive power, connected almost to another realm of life and existence. And every time I see this card, I just feel so connected to her. I feel like, she's like my guardian angel. Like she's going to show me the way. And I bet I'd love to hear if any one of you watching read the tarot or are very familiar with the tarot. And if you're a Scorpio, like how do you feel when you see the High Priestess? For me, she's always such a reminder that your gut will be your only true source of where you want to take your life, what your life is supposed to be all about. So really cool card for Scorpions. So let's talk about Scorpions in love. Kind of taking a leaf out of the same book of, when we were talking about the misconception of if somebody wrongs us, will we forgive and forget? Like we'll definitely forgive, but forgetting does come a little bit harder to us. So again, I think Scorpions love very, very deeply, very unconditionally, but at least this has been my experience and it resonates with a lot of the Scorpion friends that I have. We love very selectively. And I think that is what makes love so intense for a Scorpio, because you are just born with this inner knowing. And if you're not a Scorpion, if you're a Scorpion watching, you will definitely resonate with this instinctively. Like, you were born with that inner knowing that there are very few people who are going to give you that zazazoo, like give you that, that intrinsic attraction. Very few people do that for us. Very, very, very few. It's like a feeling thing, and it's like this instinctual thing. Who is the kind of person for you and who is the kind of person who's just not for you. And we know it in the first 5 minutes of a date. That's horrible. I know some of you will be like, oh my gosh, you guys are so judgy. Maybe we are. I think that is a fair adjective to slap on us. We are judgy because we think it's actually a positive that we can sift through people rather quickly, or we don't have to invest so much time because we already know that this is not the person for us. So that's number one. Like, we're pretty selective. Number two, when we have actually, in this very rare occasion, found someone who's, really got our attention, who's really got our interest, and we will go crazy. Firstly, when we meet somebody who can do that for us, it's very overwhelming for a Scorpion. Like, I am not exaggerating here. Our life will completely change. We will get so overwhelmed with the emotion of it all. We will be living on cloud nine. We'll be happy in all areas of our life. Suddenly work and stress about just other things in life pales away, and it's all about your relationship, your partner. That's why I think in the first sort of 6 to 8 months, or the honeymoon period of dating a Scorpion, I think you'll feel like so special. They'll make you feel like, or I should say we will make you feel like, you're the only thing that matters. But here's the thing though, I don't think that changes for Scorpions. Most people say, oh, it's a honeymoon period, it'll fade away. Scorpions love so intensely that, can you imagine this kind of intensity will take months and months and months to sort of like wear off. Years, I would say. So that's beautiful. I think about dating a Scorpion, they will definitely make you feel like, oh my God, you're like this person gifted from, the divine highness, or I don't know, like you're this higher power in their life, and they will give you their all. Now, some people accuse us of love bombing. I think, because love bombing now is a word that's become very, very interlaced with narcissism. So I want to kind of steer clear of, that definition. So I'm not saying that Scorpions are narcissists at all, but yeah, that feeling of being engulfed in a Scorpion's love and emotion and affection for you is definitely very, very real. The other thing is, Scorpions love freaking honesty. Like, you have to be so super honest with them. And firstly, I would say Scorpions match really well with other water signs, because we love people who are in the fields, who can talk about emotions, who can articulate it. We do really well with earth signs, so Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. We do well with other fellow signs, like I said, Cancerians, Pisceans. We're also very, very generous in love. For the people that are in our inner circle, for our partners, for our family, we will give unconditionally, like no questions asked, whether it's like luxurious gifts, presents. We like to spoil our people. We like to spoil our inner circle. And again, sometimes to a fault. And therefore, breakups are really, really hard for Scorpions. I mean, if you have a Scorpion friend who's going through a difficult situation in their personal life, you should definitely check in on them, because they are not the kinds who will reach out and ask for help. It is such an internal bruise. A heartbreak is such an internal bruise for a Scorpion. And also, they tend to be a little bit like, guarded, and I don't want to say proud, but to some degree, yeah, I think we're so proud of how resilient our life is because, but we will be hurting inside, we'll be wounded inside. We mostly want to retreat and go back into our hermiting nature, which comes very easily to a Scorpio when they're heartbroken, or in general, Scorpions need a lot of alone time to rejuvenate. Let's talk about, when your soul has chosen to be born as a Scorpio. And this I recently read in a book. If I can remember the name of the book, I'll put it in the description box. But, they say that if your soul has chosen to be born as a Scorpio, you have chosen actually a rather difficult life for yourself, because the sign of the Scorpio is the death card in the tarot, and it's the tower card in the tarot. It's basically the cyclical nature of death and rebirth, closing out cycles, beginning new cycles, putting down things that don't serve us, that take energy away from us, and investing in things that actually give us more energy. This is a constant death rebirth cycle for Scorpions. So I think it is not an easy life because you've chosen to go through some really big karmic shifts in your life. And they feel rather intense. They feel like they take over your life, when you're going through a karmic shift like that. I think if you are with a Scorpion in a romantic relationship, right, or you want to date a Scorpion, there are 2-3 things you should bear in mind. Firstly, honesty is like so important to a Scorpio. It is like their ultimate truth. So you better get comfortable with speaking the truth, or if you're naturally somebody who is quite honest, I think you'll do very well with a Scorpion partner. And in fact, they might inspire you to go further and even help you understand some of your deeper, darker kind of, facets of life that you've been unable to uncover. Scorpions are great in giving you company on this journey inwards because it comes so naturally to them that they're very prone to asking insightful questions. Or if you're dating a Scorpion, you'll find that, your everyday conversations are not just going to be about, hey, like the groceries, or where do you want to go eat, or what do you want to eat for dinner. It's going to be like, hey, why do you think we continue to work in this fashion? Or hey, why do you think we live in this city? Or hey, do you think this house is the right kind of space for us? Like, more like broader kind of questions. They'll broaden your horizon to life as well. What else can we talk about? So what are we like at work? Scorpions are very, very hardworking. Like, hard work does not scare a Scorpio. They are very ambitious, they're very driven, and they don't need a lot of external motivation to be driven. There are people, different types of people, and different types of motivation at work. Some people are very motivated by the extrinsic rewards, like the money, the promotion, the title. Some people are very driven by intrinsic motivators, which is like the nature of the work itself, how the work makes you feel, the kind of, intrinsic kind of motivation that you get from the job itself. Most Scorpions are driven by intrinsic motivators. There will be moments or phases in their life where they'll be, they have a very specific goal and they're trying to save some money for that specific goal. Yeah, then maybe money, like a bonus, things like that might motivate them. But ultimately, if you have a Scorpio employee at work, and let's say you're somebody watching who has a Scorpio direct report, they are very driven by the quality of work and what that work means to them at a soul and at a purpose kind of level. Scorpions are constantly trying to find their purpose in life. And I think for them, it's really, really important to do work that is aligned with their soul contract and their soul purpose, which, Scorpions make great therapists, counselors, they're great listeners. They generally are good, naturally good at healing professions, or they like to work with their hands, they're creative. So those kind of professions where they can talk to people, but mostly in a one-to-one kind of setup. They really enjoy that kind of like deeper level conversation, understanding people's life stories, life legends, why, and really exploring that why that I was talking about earlier. So they don't need a whole lot of extrinsic motivation, because a Scorpio will just leave a job or a profession that they're not interested in, even if they have nothing else planned out. When their soul is not in alignment, they just leave. And that's true at work, and that's true at love. For Scorpions, if someone or something doesn't feel aligned to their core purpose, they will just walk away, because being a Scorpion is such an intense experience that if anything that doesn't feel that intense to them, it doesn't feel normal. For most other people, they'll be like, well, it's a job, it pays the bills, it's all good, I don't want it to be so stressful and so intense. But a Scorpion wants that. They want that intensity in all facets of their life, whether it's work, whether it's relationships, whether it's their friendships. They need to feel at a deeper level. So I think Scorpions anyway will walk away if they're not feeling that intensity at a job or at a profession. Because at work, they go after the truth and what truly motivates them. They tend to embody this energy of the Empress, which is all about attracting and not chasing. And that's why sometimes, you'll find the Scorpions kind of rise pretty quickly in their professions. They tend to be more successful. That's because they have this razor sharp clarity of what is it that they're trying to do, where are they trying to go, and how can they get there. But it also comes with the dark side of it, which is this obsession with the devil card. This card also reminds me of Scorpio energy because we tend to overthink a lot of things that other people will just take it in their stride. We tend to get very obsessed with where we want to go and what it should feel like. So the feeling part, because we're a water sign, is very important to us. It's not just about what this job got me in terms of material abundance. It's about, did it gratify my soul? Did it give me that inner satisfaction? If you're somebody who has a Scorpio manager at work, I think, again, just front with honesty, like lead with honesty. They love that. They're very open-minded, so you can totally be yourself. I don't think Scorpions ever really get shocked by anything. You could be a very different personality from them at work. Like they could be introverted, you could be extroverted, or vice versa. Or, whatever the case might be, you might have a very different approach to your work hours. Maybe you want to work more from home. They don't care about all of that as long as you deliver good work within the agreed timelines. So I think sticking to time is very, very important for a Scorpion. So as long as you are churning out good work within the agreed timelines, Scorpion manager would not really care about anything else. The Hierophant also reminds me of the Scorpio because this is a card of spiritual ascension. A lot of Scorpions are quite interested in, matters outside of the 3D world, like spirituality. A lot of psychics are Scorpions. A lot of tarot readers are Scorpions. They're quite interested in knowing what else is out there beyond the 9 to 5, beyond the, hey, what's happening? Like, I think they're always seeking. So seeking is a good word, or seeker is a good word for a Scorpio. Scorpions as friends, they are very clear about their outer circle, inner circle. Most Scorpions tend to be quite social because they're very curious about people in general. And, because being born under the sign of Scorpio is such a transformational experience, that everything in life is pretty intense for a Scorpio. So they seek out pleasure in different types of people. They're very curious, like, okay, how does this person lead their life and why? And how does this person lead their life and why? So they'll tend to be friends with very different types of people. So if you lined up, let's say, the friends that I have, all of them are very different from one another. So it's not like you keep becoming friends with the same people over and over again. That's not true for a Scorpion. They like diversity. They like to challenge themselves. They like to explore other different ways of living this life because their life is so intense that they're also kind of seeking out some secrets that maybe somebody can tell me how I can do this better, and is it so hard for everyone? But they're very clear about who their inner circle is, which typically is not more than a handful of people that they will truly open up to. I think a handful is maybe a very high number for a Scorpio. I think maybe 1 or 2 at best. Somebody who they will tell or confide in about everything. That is a very difficult thing for a Scorpio to do. So honestly, if you're with a Scorpion or you have Scorpion friends, you have Scorpions in your family, when they are trying to open up to you, make the space for it because it's a very pivotal and crucible moment for a Scorpion to be ready to talk about something intense that's happening in their life. If you don't listen actively or jump to conclusions or tell them, yeah, all that sounds great. Yeah, you should do that. Yeah, come on, that obviously wasn't going to work out. They're just going to retract into their shell, and how? So it takes them time to get to the core of the conversation when it's about something that deeply impacts a Scorpio. So allow them time, allow them space. Let them kind of ease into what is truly bothering them. Yeah. But they will tell you as it is, but it'll take them maybe a few minutes to get to that, right? So allow them that time. If you just go into solution mode or you tell them what exactly you think in the first few minutes, I think they're just going to retract and be like, oh, okay, I don't think this person will understand what I'm really trying to say or where I'm trying to go with this. What are we like with money? We are very, very generous. We like to splurge on the people that we care about. But once again, we do it selectively. Because we have that razor sharp intuition, we know who's worth our time, who's worth our money. Similarly, with romantic partners, we'll definitely go out of our way to make sure that they're looked after, they have everything that they can ever think of or need, which is generally very generous people for the inner circle. I think we definitely have no qualms about saying this, that we wouldn't give we wouldn't give like that to people that don't matter too much to us. And in fact, we can be pretty straight up about finances and about money with people that we don't really care too much about. Yeah. So ultimately, guys, I'll say that we are very decent, nice, intense people, yes, but we just like to share that intensity and share with a few select people, and we're not for everyone, and we know that, and we're happy about that because I think, gosh, if we had to give unconditionally like we tend to do in our relationships with like 10,000 people, like we'd go insane. So that's just a little bit about what being a Scorpion is all about.